How you doing? Happy Tuesday? Ding. See, I'm not watching this guy. He doesn't know what day of the week it is. Well, more news from, and I knew this would pick up steam. We talked about this last night. The fact that, first it gets out a little bit, and then it gets out an awful lot, and then you find out. Jason Newsted, who was a Metallica former bassist, mentioned the other day that there was talk about doing a tribute tour, reunion slash tribute tour to Eddie Van Halen. And it goes back quite a ways, depending upon who you talk about it. He said 6 months ago he was basically talking to the boys about doing something that would be some semblance of a reunion, like I said, tribute. And he had said that he went to California. Newsted went to California to jam with the guys, but it kind of felt weird about it, and he wanted to make sure it wasn't a money grab, and it kind of fizzled out because everyone's kind of leery of being on this bus. And now there are new names. We'll get to the comments in a second being mentioned. The rumor with Joe Satriani, who of course knows Van Halen stuff, playing with Michael Anthony and Sammy Hagar. So he knows the licks, right? But interestingly, Sammy Hagar was in all of these talks have not been mentioned, or Michael Anthony has not been mentioned. Did I say mentioned? Psh. Anyway, Satriani, we'll get to David Lee Roth in a second. Satriani has said, I've been talking with Alex and Dave for about a year, David Lee Roth, and about doing something, a tour, something like that, that was going to be a true tribute to the late, great Eddie Van Halen and the Van Halen legacy. To me, it was terrifying prospects for doing something like that, but I realized that it was something that would be a real labor of love for me, and I was honored to take on the challenge. He says it's very complicated. He also says, in the span of, let's say, a year or any time, I'm paraphrasing, there are a lot of rumors that go around about what could possibly happen with any particular band. Most of these rumors, most of these ideas never see the light of day, and no one ever talks about them. But Newsted mentioned it, and Satriani basically said, well, since he kind of, the cat's out of the bag, since he said that, well, I will mention that's what he said, right? He basically said that it's complicated. It has to be handled with kid gloves. Any wrong turn in this would have bad results for a lot of fans. So anyway, this is what I'm talking about, where if Sammy Hagar, why can't they have Sammy Hagar and David Lee Roth? If they're going to do this, they have to do this right. There's going to be half the Van Halen fans are going to go, well, I'm not going to this. Michael Anthony's not involved. Why wouldn't he be involved? Because you're still bad blood, right? And Alex, I mean, who knows what Eddie Van Halen told Alex Van Halen before he died. If you're ever going to do anything, don't do anything. You don't know. Don't want to start a rumor, but at the same time, you don't know. So now, David Lee Roth has a comment. It's all juicy stuff. He wrote, in my mind, Van Halen 4K, as he puts it, in the age of COVID is going to require two of us for every position. So why wouldn't it be, right? Why wouldn't it be Sammy Hagar with him? Satriani and Lukather, Steve Lukather of Toto, who was a good friend of Eddie Van Halen, of course. Anthony and Newsted. So there you go. He mentioned him. Or Tommy Lee. Probably the only one who could do my job would be Pink. Because he's a problem singing now, right? And who could do your job? How about Sammy Hagar? So anyway, Michael Anthony at least was mentioned by David Lee Roth. But I want to talk about some of the comments that people were saying. This is from, let me just see, before I give you the comments, this is from Metal Edge magazine. They posted the story this morning, and it's interesting what people were saying. And it's always kind of funny because David Mize wrote, Dave, we love you, bro, but you can't sing anymore. Wayne Howard, more like Van Halen on life support. See, so a lot of the comments are like this. People saying this. Armando says, I don't know if this is a good idea. If Eddie was here and we had a new singer, maybe. Steve, if Dave's not careful using the name Van Halen, he'll get a lawsuit. Glenn says, why not get Gene Simmons on bass? Russell Como, it's not Van Halen without Eddie. Josh says, awesome. Make a new record, please. It is what Eddie would want. No, you don't know that. Josh Bottomley, you don't know that. Jack Slammy, Dave canceled his shows in Vegas because he sucks. This idea is the worst idea in the history of music. Dig Under Rock, Tommy Lee trying to play Hot for Teacher is hilarious. Yeah, because he mentioned, I don't think Tommy Lee has the chops to play Hot for Teacher, which is a hard lick to play. Daryl Brooker says hard pass. Scott, by the way, give me your comments on this, and they better get a new singer. And a lot of folks were going, what, Pink? Really? Not that she can't sing. Not about that. But the audiences are so different. You know, from Pink to Van Halen, that is a huge leap. It doesn't matter if vocally she can do it. What is she going to do? Her trapeze act? I've never been she's got a lot of talent, but I've never been a fan of Pink. I don't know why, just the way it goes. Before I get to the comments, by the way, folks, we've got a new interview with Noel McCalla, which was actually done a few months ago. We unfortunately, I'm going to get your comments here. We never got a chance to put it up. We kind of got lost in the shuffle. We're getting to the comments. Rock and roll. Okay. Simon Hallwood says, John, hope this happens. Well, I hope it happens for the right reason. If it's going to happen, then David Lee Roth with his vocal problems should be there, but maybe not have half of the singing duties because he has problems singing, unless he's cured some of that. And usually if you lose your voice, you don't get it back. Maria Day, hi, John. Tor Porco. Maria Day, good morning. You're always here, LOL. Dwayne says, hello, everyone. Maria Day says, I don't think Sammy and Dave get along. They do not. As far as we know, they do not. Dwayne, I think Eddie Van Halen is irreplaceable. Very true. And I think maybe Lukather would say that too. It's nice that they're mentioning Lukather. Tommy Lee, technically as a drummer, I think he's a great drummer for his band. I don't know if he could really handle, I don't think he could handle Hot for Teacher. My son's been drumming for quite a long time. And he came up to me when he was quite young. And back then he was doing Tom Sawyer. And he said, man, Hot for Teacher, that's hard drumming. So, Christopher 628 says Eddie Van Halen cannot be replaced. Interesting. Wolfgang has already said he doesn't want to be involved in any kind of thing with Van Halen. He kind of wants to do his own thing. And by him not being mentioned, it sure looks like a hard pass for him. And they know that, and they've talked to him. I should at least have my logo in this. So, so that's what it looks like, right? I don't think we can argue that. It's easy. Mugu. Sounds very tropical. Beating a dead horse. Yeah, I think you're right. Melody R. Hey, from Saskatchewan. Maria Day. If Eddie was still here, he'd still be in the band, of course. Jed Larson. Van Halen was and is no more. Thanks. Agreed. Dwayne says a tribute album is different. Replacing certain musicians is very hard. Nicely said. It's true. Do an album. Why not do that? They could make David Lee Roth would sound fine on an album setting. It would be okay. Randman. I saw them in 84 and then in 2008. I think it would be just sadder. Yeah, I think so. Tor Porco. Eddie Van Halen was so legendary, he cast a huge shadow. Well said. Dwayne. I look at it this way. It's like a specific type of car. You need matching parts when you repair it. Now that is a good, well said. Pumpkin King. Sometimes you have to let things go, and sometimes you really, really do. So I don't know, the whole thing just gives me a weird feeling. You know what I mean? Yeah. As they say down south, that dog won't hunt. I wouldn't do it. I certainly wouldn't do it with Pink. I certainly wouldn't do it without Sammy Hagar. You can't do it without Sammy Hagar. If they don't get along too bad, the separate limousines cliche has been used so many times. You don't even have to share the stage. One comes from one side, but you have to have Sammy Hagar if you would do this. He can sing. Tepid Tooth 85. People keep ripping on this idea. I think it'd be fine. They wouldn't be trying. Sorry, you write very differently than the way I talk. Wouldn't be trying to replace Van Halen. They'd just be trying to celebrate their music one last time and give people the opportunity to enjoy it. There's another point of view. Not a bad point of view. I understand when you look at it that way. I hear what you're saying. Hanging Chad, a celebration of the band. No problem here. Tepid Tooth, them playing live for the last time. Tor Porco, excellent analogy, Dwayne. Yep. Dwayne says, if you have a Dodge car, can you put 4 parts in it? You can't. Same type of thing. See, I can understand both points of view. Trance 9. Rhodes was replaced, so can Eddie, especially just for a tribute thing. It's going to be hard for people to want to go there and not have. That's why I think you need all the parts. Michael Anthony needs to be there. Sammy Hagar needs to be there. And even David Lee Roth needs to be there. You need to have the 2 singers. And Michael Anthony has to be back in the mix. Again, we don't know that Eddie Van Halen, before he died, didn't tell Alex, his brother, that I don't want Sammy ever back. I don't think that's the case. I doubt if he would do that. But the fact that Michael Anthony was mentioned by David Lee Roth, but no one else mentioned him. So that's great. Michael Anthony needs to be back there. So this is kooky. And Pink, no, please no. Van Halen fans are not going to be warming up, even if she can technically do it. That's a whole other genre of, that's a whole other fan base. And maybe that's what they're thinking. I don't know. We don't know how much Eddie Van Halen or David Lee Roth is in the know of this. How much is this really, this was leaked and all of a sudden everyone's talking about it. We've talked about it. We've done 2 videos. We could have easily done 4 videos on this, but I decided not to. I thought, I'm going to wait. You know what? I can get all the hits with the first video. I just thought, no, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to see what happens. So this could be a thing that's leaked intentionally. We don't know that, but now everyone's talking about it. Testing the waters, perhaps? I don't know. Dave says Michael Anthony cannot be left out. I agree. Under any circumstances. Or Sammy Hagar. Tepid Tooth 85. I was born in 2003. By the time I got into Van Halen, they were done with touring. I don't care if Eddie wouldn't be there. Or if Dave's vocals aren't the best. I'd love to see them. There you go. See? I think a lot of people think like you. Melody. Please no Pink. Hangin' Chad. Pink, LOL. It's not that she can't technically do it. She's a great singer. I just don't care for Pink. I don't. When she started doing the whole trapeze thing, I'm going, you couldn't pay me to go see her. I play Pink on my radio show all the time. It doesn't matter. But that's a different mindset when I'm doing that show. Ronnie Parker, one-time tribute concert for Eddie would be great, like Freddie Mercury tribute in 92. I don't think that's what they're thinking, though. It sounds like they're thinking something bigger, but I don't know for sure. Ruben Kincaid, Anthony would be there, would have to be there first. I agree. Dwayne, when you have a musician on the level Eddie Van Halen, how can you match that? Let alone replace him. Maria Day, I've seen Van Halen, wouldn't go see them without Sammy. I agree. T. Dumpf, never thought I would see my beloved and mighty Van Halen go to the well this often. Everything's a money grab. Well, was it Joe Satriani? I don't think it was. I think it was, Jason Newsted. He's the one that said he didn't want to make it sound like a money grab because that's your reputation, man. That's another thing we've got to really consider. When you post yourself or attach yourself to something, and David Lee Roth said Steve Lukather, but would Steve Lukather do it? I've talked to Steve Lukather since Eddie died, twice since Eddie died. And that's sacred stuff to him. But it doesn't mean, he would know Eddie Van Halen, and I think Luke would know if Eddie would want him to do that. If anybody would know, Luke's one of them. Yeah, Ruben Kincaid said, yes, Steve Vai can play Eddie's stuff. That's for sure, because he was, of course, touring with David Lee Roth, especially in the beginning, remember? I remember going, who is this guy? Remember when David Lee Roth first came out? I have a problem with mixing their names up because they're 3 bounces. Walt Moss Jr. Ain't Van happening. Tepid Tooth 85. Can we talk a minute about Danny Elfman at Coachella show? Yeah, I saw the pictures. Never heard the sound, though. He's in good shape. Ruben Kincaid, Pink as David Lee Roth is a goofiest idea involved. Yeah, I don't know why he mentioned Pink. Is she talked about? Is she being talked about? Dwayne says, you're just responding to each other. Todd Lancaster, if they brought out multiple guitarists, let them say a few words about how Eddie influenced them. That would be great, especially if Luke was involved. Move on, another guitarist. Yes, Dave, Sammy, Michael, Alex have to be there. How could you do this without Sammy Hagar? You need the two vocalists. This is the time to have the two vocalists. Eddie Van Halen, Sammy Hagar. Well, two main vocalists. There were three, right? Hangin' Chad. Is the manager still Alex? I'll show that comment. Is this a charity? Jerian the radio says, is this a charity or lining your own pockets? I think it would just be for them. Teppa Tooth. If they wouldn't want to do it for the money grab, they get solid band lineup and write some new material. I don't think they would. I don't think they'd write new material. Maybe one anthem song. I don't know. Feb 45. Him. Wonder if Lukather will respond. I think Lukather will respond. Knowing Luke, I think he'll say something. Snowman. Geddy Lee can play bass pretty good. Yep. Teppa Tooth 85. Oh, Nuno Battencourt from Extreme. Could be a good choice. Yeah, but there's that other guy from Extreme, remember? That once sang with them. I don't know if anybody wants Extreme mentioned in this conversation, but who knows? I didn't. Mr. Sharon, I didn't mind what he did. Ruben Kincaid, agreed. Sammy and Dave both. Orbitson, fans would never be fully satisfied, would want more. Best to let it go. It's very true. There'd be a sense of something, this is not right. That could happen too. Tebbit, do I dare toss Gary into the equation? Maybe, Mr. Sharon, yeah, maybe. Pulsar Lights. I mean, here's the thing. I have two thoughts on this. It's like calling all stations by Genesis. When I listen to that without Phil Collins, I'm going, if I don't think Genesis, I kind of like the album. So if I didn't think Eddie Van Halen with Van Halen 3 with Gary Sharon, I remember going, I like this, but do I like it as a Van Halen album? I had to kind of do that, right? So please comment, please like our video. When you like our videos, they do better, so appreciate that. Listen, you've asked us more than anything for me to come on live more often and talk about topical things. I get that. When I do that, the videos do really, really well. So I get it. We're going to do a lot more of that. And I don't mind because I work out of my home. I do my radio show at night. So there you go. But for anyone who's watching, please subscribe to our channel. And remember that most of our channel is still interviews with classic rockers, some of the biggest classic rockers of all time. So just keep that in mind. We do a lot of that. Pulsar Lights, Sammy can sing better at 73 than Dave did at 23. I don't know about that, but I'd like to have them both there. Dwayne says, certain musicians make a band in the same way certain ingredients make a particular dish. Dwayne, you're just knocking them out of the park today. Good, well said. Glenn Yoklin, this is a tribute. No one said they were reforming Van Halen. That's true. T. Williams, let's get them out there. Mutant says, like going to see Elvis impersonators with some backing band members. Dwayne says Gary Sharon. Well, okay, Gary Sharon's being mentioned a lot here. The one thing about Gary, he can sing. He can still sing. Pulsar Lights. What is Gary Sharon doing these days? As far as I know, he's still doing. Is he doing Extreme stuff? I haven't even checked on the band in so long. But someone just mentioned Nuno Battencourt, who was, of course, the guitarist for Extreme. I remember my girlfriend at the time, years ago, when More Than Words came out, she saw Nuno Battencourt. They were on there playing their guitar. And the video, and she said, oh my God, who is that guy? He's the best looking guy I've ever seen in my life. And she wouldn't have been the first person to say that, because Nuno Battencourt back there, he's a damn good looking guy, like really attractive man. And all my female friends were in love with him. Pulsar says, I actually never heard Van Halen 3. Should check it out. It's worth a check out, for sure. I loved it, just not as a Van Halen album. It's strange, but it was a Van Halen album. T Dump. Dave can bring his vaudeville act. Tepid Tooth. One thing I can say is I hate when people drag Wolf into Van Halen stuff. Let him do his own thing. And that's a reason why he's not being mentioned here at all. His line is firmly in the sand that he doesn't want to be involved in it. He wants to do his own thing. So because of that, I wonder if I would think he doesn't want them to do that. Ruben Kincaid, ideally, you'd get everyone who was ever in Van Halen to appear on one big variety bill. Well said, Ruben. Tepid Tooth, they are drawing the Van Halen logo in the snow. Toro Porco. Hit the like button. Thank you for everyone who did like our video. I appreciate that. We're going to do more of these live things, possibly one a day where news breaks. We'll just talk about it. Tepid Tooth 85. I like Van Halen 3. People hate it for the same reason they hate the Hager stuff. It's different. It's very different, but it's very good. It's interesting to hear musicians in different contexts than usual. Yes, well said. Dwayne says, can you have the Moody Blues without Graham Edge or Procol Harum without Gary Brooker? I don't think so. Jerry on the radio. I really appreciate you having good topics for great conversations. Thank you for doing this. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you. Tepid Tooth. Mutant Ref. No. But on the top of garbage cans on the edge of the streets. Okay, I don't know what you guys are talking. Okay, I'm going to wrap things up. Going to look if anything else is breaking, and we'll come on again. Orbitson says, maybe get an Eddie hologram. I'm not a big fan of the hologram thing, but just thinking about it. Not a big fan, but man, people would be jumping, eh? Just have some semblance of him there. You know, when Anne Murray started singing with Elvis and everyone started singing with Elvis, I remember going to something kind of sacrilegious about this, where Elvis didn't agree to sing with these people, or Martina McBride singing with Elvis, and I'd go, I don't know. They're all talented singers. I love Anne Murray, but would he want to do this? And when you're dead now in the music age, you're being sampled years after you're dead, and it's just what it is. Doesn't mean I have to like it though. Okay, a few more comments and we're going to wrap things up. Yes, Paul Sarp. Sammy and Michael are really good friends. Sammy Hagar and Michael Anthony. Mutant Ref. Saw the first, third, and fourth of a Sammy tour and a Wolfgang tour. Not going back for a stupid tour. Ruben Kincaid. Pink as David Lee Roth is almost as bad as Joan Jett as doing Kurt Cobain. Okay. Snowman. Alex Van Halen can play lead guitar. I think they'd rather get Luke. I don't know if Luke would want to do it, though. Steve Lukather from Toto. Michael Frazia. Hi, Michael. Only person I'd even remotely feel okay taking Ed's shoes is Wolf, and Wolf had enough sense to know that no one can replace Eddie. Yeah, he doesn't want to do it at all. He's been very firm with that. That's why he's not being mentioned in these conversations. Tepid Tooth. Okay, you guys talking to each other? Oh, Paul Starlight says, how much would the Van Halen tickets be in 22, 23? Yeah, good point. I don't know what this would be. We don't know yet. But certainly there was a lot of talk. We're going to wrap things up. Eddie, I'm going to say again, basically, David Lee Roth's comment was they would have to be two people to replace. He mentioned that Tommy Lee, possibly with Alex Van Halen. Again, I don't know if Tommy Lee can handle it chop-wise, because Alex Van Halen is a way better drummer than Tommy Lee, technically. He mentioned that anyone who could replace him would be Pink. He mentioned Steve Lukather playing with Joe Satriani. So there's been talk. There's been talk. They need a funeral for Dave's voice, Paul Sarlight says. Oh. Anyway, thanks, guys, for joining me today. I appreciate it. 73 people on. Please hit the like button. Let's keep this video going. And listen, even if we're not on live, please continue to put your comments on there. We'd appreciate it. We want your feedback on this. It's very important to us. This is John Beaudin from Rocky Stream Music. Please check out all our interviews. And like I said, if you're a Smallcreeps Day fan from Mike Rutherford's first solo album, On our sister channel, we just put up Rock History Book, a nice interview with Noel McCalla, who's the lead singer of Smallcreeps today. He talks about his new album track by track. It's pretty cool. So check that out. We'll put it in the description of this video. I'm John Beaudin, Rock History Music. Take care. We'll be back probably in a couple hours.